Hiya, a new battle report, and this one is a 1250 point tank wars. It's a practice for a scenario that I'm going to be using in my tournament that's coming up in October in the United Kingdom in Stevenage. It's going to be taking place at the local game store, Lost Ark Games in Stevenage. You can find them on the web. As I say, it's a tank wars game. It will be one platoon, but you must take 2 infantry squads. Rules wise, we're going to use some of the house rules which are in Ryan Scale's Phony Wars that's coming up in December, and that's likely to be some of the new rules or amendments that are coming up in the edition 2 of bolt action. So it's an extra dice for the light and medium machine guns. It's a leadership test for units that want to recce away. Additional to that, what I'm going to be running is from the tank wars is the experience table. So it's a 1 to 6 roll, and on a 1 to 6 you can get a different experience. So it could be that your guy gets to be able to carry out a run and shoot at the end of it. What there'll be once per game you can use it, and it will have to be on a nominated tank right at the beginning of the game. The scenario that we're using today is maximum attrition, but I've given it a tweak for the tournament. It will be 4 points for a heavy tank destroyed, 3 points for a medium tank destroyed, 2 points for a light tank destroyed, and 1 point for everything else. And we'll see how that runs. It should make some interesting gaming. My army consists of 3 Panzer IIIs. 2 of them have medium anti-tank guns and 1 has a light anti-tank gun, and that one is the Panzer IV in this scenario, and that has the command on it, so it gives a +1 for the command. I've got a Tiger 1. I've then got 2 of my compulsory infantry squads are veteran infantry, pioneers, but they've only got a couple of submachine guns, a light machine gun, and there's 6 men, and they each got a vehicle. One's a heavy field car, well, both will be heavy field cars. Got the Kubel wagon there, which carries the anti-tank rifle team, and then I've got a machine gun motorcycle combination. Interesting little army, I thought. It's sort of based on the real life historical, so that the Tigers had a protection of Panzer IIIs whenever they went into operation because they were so expensive and valuable. So it should be interesting to see how this works. It's the first time I've used Tank Platoon, so we'll see how it goes. So moving on to my friend's Japanese army, you can see the armour at the background. He's got a Type 92 tankette, which has got a heavy machine gun and a medium machine gun. He's got 2 Chiha 97s, which are light howitzers, armed with light howitzers, and then he's got a Shinamoto Chiha, which comes with a medium anti-tank gun. He's got a Ki Nai, which is a light tank. For this one, he's running a armoured personnel carrier, which is that odd-looking tank type thing in the middle. To the right, and that's normally that has 3 flamethrowers, 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and 1 to the front, but he's using it as a carrier this time around. And then he's got a cavalry unit. He's got 3 suicide anti-tank guys, which are riding in the little car. He's then got 1 cavalry unit, 1 infantry squad, a medic, and a flamethrower team. And that's his army, a tank platoon of Japanese. So strategy for this game was remembering that it's going to be attrition, maximum attrition, and the big tanks are worth 4 points. I was going to put a tank, put the Tiger onto the flank with 1 of the Panzer IIIs for a bit of protection, put the other 2 Panzer IIIs perhaps into the middle of the board to try and take out some of the Japanese armour. Got to be careful because he does play the 3 suicide anti-tank nutters, and he's quite aggressive with these, and they really do put pressure on any armour that you put down on the table. And that's what my little infantry squads are for, is to try and take out some of those anti-tank guys so he doesn't get an opportunity to get into combat with my armour. Turn 1, and the first dice went to the Japanese, and they brought on the Ki Nai that you can see there. It's the unpainted one. The Germans then were able to bring on the Kubelwagen and parked it just behind the wall. The Japanese retaliated, bringing on the Shinto Chiha, and that allowed me to bring on the Panzer III, which then took a cheeky shot at the 92 that had come on, and he wrecked away. Over on the left-hand flank, I brought on a truck and disembarked the infantry to shoot at a nasty little kamikaze guy who had jumped out to try and threaten this left flank. To counter that move, there was a Chi-Ha 97 that was brought on, light howitzer, which had a pop at the unit in the woods, but it missed. I then brought on my Panzer III, it looks like a 4, but it is a Panzer III with a light anti-tank gun. Took a shot at the 97, but failed. Over on this side, the cavalry came on, and I then took a shot with my Panzer III over on this side, used the 4 machine guns. They wrecked away behind the fence. I managed to get 1 pin on them. I then brought on the motorcycle combination team, took another shot, and that managed to put another pin on and kill 1 of the cavalry. End of turn 1, the little man, kamikaze, came out from the building where the Kai Ni is behind and moved into a position on this side. I think Colin's hoping for the first dice out of the bag to either take the tank or to have a go at the motorcycle. We're going to have to see what comes up when that dice is pulled out. So try and get a shot over the table. You see the troops on the far side moving across to the centre and then to the right flank. So, turn 2, and fortune didn't favour the Germans in this turn. The Shineso Chi-Ha took a pot shot, needing 5s and then 5 again at the Panzer III behind this wall, and knocked it out, which was a real pain. That's just weakened that centre greatly. On this side, this little kamikaze man is causing me no end of problems, and I'll give a little update as a separate part of that after this overview. Cavalry were going to advance forward to take the wall, but failed their check and went down. On the left hand side, I used my experienced card for my tiger and brought it on from the edge, and my experience card allows me to do a run and fire a shot at the end of that run. So I run it up to the side of wood to take a shot at the Chi-Ha, and unfortunately missed it. I then brought up the Panzer III with a light anti-tank gun, took another shot at it and again missed it. The Chi-Ha, however, had targeted the infantry unit in the woods, fired at them with the howitzer, only killed 1, but actually did 2 pins, giving them 3 pins maximum. I then carried out a rally order when it came their turn and managed to get rid of all the pins on the rally. The 92 and the Ki now took shots at the infantry unit in the cornfield, and put 2 pins on them, but fortunately didn't take any more casualties. I've done a separate little video part that I'll add in with regards to the misfortune of the Pioneer squad there. I advanced out the anti-tank rifle to the edge of the wall. That was a move to try and get the kamikaze man here, but again that failed. So end of turn 2, and the Germans didn't have very much luck. I've been trying to survive against this little kamikaze man. I've fired 8 machine guns from the Panzer III at him. He took a pin. I then got the other dice for the motorcycle team and fired another 4 shots at him and gave him another pin, and he survived. He's now passed his leadership test as he's a veteran, and he's advanced up to a position where if I don't get the first dice, he's going to get me, and will only fail on a 1. So we shall see, but my Panzer III is at dire risk here. So the charmed life of the kamikaze guy continues. I thought I'd try and move the Pioneer squad up to the wall to get a shot at him through the woods. And of course I had 1 pin from the previous shooting, and I roll 11, which means they are going to go down, and the kamikaze man lives again. And the video won't turn off. End of turn 3, and I'm going to show a quick run through. The Japanese advanced the Type 92 and the Kaini across the centre line. The 92 had a shot with four shots with its MMG at the unit in the field. They went down and didn't take any casualties, but took another pin. The anti-tank rifle survived the heavy machine gun shots from the tank, the 92. However, the Kaini who came across managed to kill them with their machine guns. So my little anti-tank guy was killed there. Fortunately, over on this side, the first dice out was for the Germans, and that allowed me to kill the kamikaze guy, which was a bonus. However, things were not good. The machine gun, the motorcycle team, were destroyed by the armoured carrier. That's what the little tanky there is proxying. Came on, and the machine guns were able to take out the motorcycle. Next on from this side was the little Japanese staff car, and in the staff car was a flamethrower team. They were able to put 3 hits on the side of the Panzer III, and with that he rolled 2 6s, which gave a penetration, and that was the end of the Panzer III. On the left hand side, things were a little bit more interesting. I got the drop ahead with the Tiger, advanced it up the centre, past the centre line, and took a shot, but again missed the tank that's hiding behind the building. Then Colin sneakily brought on his little tank behind my Tiger to take a pot shot at the rear, but unfortunately he rolled a 1 to hit, which allowed me with my Panzer III to take a shot at the 97 and destroy it. The Chiha reversed back, took a couple of shots, but didn't manage to hit anything. At the end of the turn, the little kamikaze guy comes out of the building and has advanced up in front of my unit, which had already moved up to the hedge, but is now in a position to probably get to the rear of the Tiger if the first dice comes out. Points values at the moment, I've lost
2 Panzer IIIs, and with the rules for this, each medium tank destroyed is worth 3 points. So at the moment I've lost 2 Panzer IIIs, which adds up to 6. I've lost the motorcycle team, which is another one, which is 7. I've lost the anti-tank team, which takes me up to 8. So at the moment I'm on an 8. Colin at the moment has lost the medium tank, which is 3 points. He's lost 2 kamikaze guys, so which is 5. And the cavalry unit, which was shot off by the motorcycle combination before they were killed. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 6. So at the moment Colin is up 8 points to 6 as we move into turn 4. It's going to be an interesting little dice out of the bag situation here. If Colin gets the first dice out, then my tiger could well be dead. So we shall see what happens. End of turn 4, and a bit of a mixed bag, really. A tale of 2 flanks, I would say. The Japanese got the first dice out of the bag, and the little kamikaze guy ran to the back of the Tiger tank. You can still see the Tiger tank there. Unfortunately, a 1 was rolled, and it meant that he detonated himself, he tripped over it, and blew himself up. That was a problem for the Japanese on this side. The Tiger moved up to take a shot at the... what is that one called?
Oh, Type 97 thing. With
Type 97 with the anti-tank gun. And I was able to take a shot and get it immobilised, which was fortunate. That's going to cause that one a bit of problem. You can see the Panzer III had moved up. The infantry weren't there at that time. And the little Chi Hart over here ran off. Did a runner. I needed a 6 to hit with the Panzer III, and lo and behold, first bit of luck, I got it. I suppose a second bit of luck because he failed to hit the Tiger tank with his kamikaze guy. But anyway, we were able to penetrate it and blow it up. So another tank of the Japanese gone. Moved up the infantry across the road there and put them into the field. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with those. No. On the left flank, a little bit more problematical. The unit in the field are now taking at least 3 pins there and are down because the Type 92 has been taking some pot shots at them. The Kenai, is it Kenai?
Kenai.
Kenai.
Kenai, a bit like Kenai.
Kenai in the middle decided it wanted to take out the Kubelwagen. Was only able to put a pin on it. And then the Japanese infantry debussed from the armoured carrier, also deciding to try and get rid of the Kubelwagen, who took some more pins, but survived. And then the medic jumped out, took a shot, but it survived again. I don't think it's going to last very much longer with the Japanese infantry unit there, and also the flamethrower team that have now come around the side of the tank. So end of turn 4. It is in the balance. Japanese are losing the tanks. Germans are up, I think, possibly, on the dice. We'll have to add it up and go along. Maths is not on my greatest achievements. But I think here, whether the Germans on this flank with the tanks can move along and then mop up the other tanks is going to be interesting. Whereas the Japanese strategy now is really to take out all my soft targets and see if they can stack up the points. Remembering that it's 4 points for a heavy tank taken out, 3 points for a medium tank taken out, 2 points for a light tank taken out, and 1 point for everything else. So, yeah, end of turn 4. It's swings and roundabouts on here. Turn 5, end of turn 5, and the Tiger has taken out the tank there with a nice little shot. The Panzer III moved up to take a shot at the 92 that was stationary. He didn't bother to recce because it needed a 6 to hit it. Took a risk and I missed. So not much happening on this flank here. I've consolidated the troops behind the fence, behind the hedge there, just to keep them safe out of the way. The unit here decided to run from the field. As it did so, it did take a few shots, but wasn't destroyed, but has got an extra pin for its pains, and that was from the Japanese who were moving round from the flank here. Yeah, Japanese strategy was to take out some of the soft targets, and they've got rid of the Kubel wagon, and they've got rid of the support little truck there. So another couple of dice for the Japanese. Little tank there in the middle, the Key 9, took a long range shot at the Panzer III.
Through a hole in the wall.
Through a hole in the wall and missed.
Missed totally.
Yeah. So end of turn 5.
Flamethrower.
Oh yeah, flamethrower did come along, and that was what took out the Kubel wagon.
Yeah.
However, it did roll a 1 and it rolled a 2, and then destroyed itself.
Decided to ignite itself.
Yeah. So end of turn 5, coming down to the wire now. We'll see what happens in turn 6. End of turn 6, and not very much happened. The Type 92 came up to take some shots at the Pioneer squad that's moving away. Only managed to put 1 pin on them. The Japanese infantry unit moved across, again took some shots at them, but as they were down, it was a little bit more difficult for them, so only didn't even take a pin from that. On this side, I advanced up the Panzer III to get into half range, just in case we had a turn 7. Reduces it down from a 6 to a 5 if I get a shot at the little tank behind the wall. The infantry just moved into the house, keep them safe, give them the little bit of cover, and the Tiger tanks moved up to take a shot at the Key 9 behind the wall, but again missed. We rolled a dice to see if there was going to be a 7th turn, and there is. So shouldn't take very long, but we'll see what happens at the end. End of turn 7, and the Tiger and the Panzer III tried to take some shots at the Key 9, but they both failed and missed it. And that was really the end of the Germans' threat on this turn 7. Japanese tried to take out the Pioneer squad who were down, only managed to put 1 casualty on from the Type 92, and the Japanese infantry shooting it at the same time. The armoured carrier that moved up into the field can't get a shot through to it, so wasn't able to take out the Pioneers at the end, and that meant that the German truck over here survived as well. So we're going to total up the points and see who wins. I think though the Germans will probably just sneak it because of the 2 units, softer units there, surviving. So total up the points, and in the end the Germans scored 15 points and the Japanese 10. So a win to the Germans. Overall it was pretty tight. It could have gone either way. If the kamikaze guy had taken out the Tiger down this end, that would have really been a big blow, because that would have been 4 points to the Japanese, and also it wouldn't have been able to take out the small tank, the medium tank that was behind the building. It would have been very different, because it would only have left the Panzer III to do any damage, and it would have been quite vulnerable on that side. So yeah, interesting to see how it ran. We were looking at this for the tournament that we're running in October, and it looks like we'll be running 1 platoon as the main factory, 1 tank platoon. One of the additional bits to it is that each player has to take 2 infantry squads within that army selection. But overall that was a pretty good game, and as I say, it could have just pivoted the other way on that kamikaze guy. So things that I really should remember. Yeah, I knew that Colin had some units on the outflank, and what I really should have done was to have moved my Panzer III on the left flank up onto the centre line. because that was the turn where it was going to come out. So I could have put my Panzer III on that centre line and prevented his Chi 97 coming out and having an opportunity to take a shot at my Tiger from the rear aspect. Should have thought about that. I also should have tried to have taken out that anti-tank suicide guy, but yeah, for whatever reason, he had just gone out of my mind, and it gave Colin the opportunity to get a chance to take out the Tiger. But again, fortunately, he rolled a 1 to hit, so I was really lucky. Overall, 400 points for a Tiger. Nah, it's not really worth it. You can just take smaller tanks and have more points to play with. However, I wanted to take it. The tournament's called When the Tigers Broke Free, and so in my army for just in case somebody doesn't turn up, that's what I'll go and stick with. I'll have my Tiger tank in it. So thanks very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button. Any comments, please put them below. And if you want to come along to the tournament, have a look up at Lost Ark Games, Stevenage. There are some tickets. It's £10. There's 12 players, and it'll be 3 games on the day. So thanks very much for listening and watching. I've got another report that'll be coming up soon. Thanks very much.